Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of Izzy CinemaScape on YouTube. I'm your host Izzy. For anyone who is new to the channel, just happen to find it through the YouTube search engine, feel free to hit the subscribe button and spread the word for anyone who's interested in a straight to the point review. Anyone who is not new to the channel, thank you for continuing to spread the word, and I hope you guys continue to enjoy my work. I just finished watching Bill and Ted Face the Music. I know that was lame, but either way, I just had to do that because that brought back so many childhood memories from yours truly. I just finished watching it, and I have to say, before I get into any type of details about this particular review, I grew up watching Bill and Ted. It was just something that was a very part of my childhood. I would go through many days attempting to imitate their voices, and my dad, literally, he hated Bill and Ted. He still, to this very day, is not fond of the character of Bill and Ted. So I was very into Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure and Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. If I had to say so myself, I do believe I find Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey my favorite one out of the three films. But either way, it is still something that is very near and dear to my heart. And even I'm not sure if anybody else remembers the cartoon, but I grew up watching the cartoon as well. So it's just something that I think a lot of people grew up appreciating. And having said that, Bill and Ted's Face the Music is a very interesting film, if I say so, because it's a very simple story, and seeing, when you really think about it from every angle, Bill and Ted is essentially the more family-friendly version of Beavis and Butthead. Bill and Ted was Beavis and Butthead before Beavis and Butthead became a thing in the 90s. Bill and Ted is literally Beavis and Butthead. And I know that sounded repetitious, but I really started thinking about it as I was watching Bill and Ted Face the Music. And I just thought, it just really hit me in the head. I said, wow, this is most likely where they got their idea for Beavis and Butthead. Either way, Bill and Ted Face the Music is a very simple story about Bill and Ted, who is still on a journey to find the song, write the song that is literally going to bring all of the world together, unite the world together. And it was just, watching the film, I experienced a series of mixed emotions. And one of the emotions I was experiencing was I truly wish that this was a film that was released on opening night in a full theater setting, when theaters should have been open during this. I don't want to get into the details, but everyone knows what's going on. But it would have been nice to have this film released in the theater setting with a full crowd, in order for it to be fully appreciated. Another emotion that I felt was just a strong, powerful sense of nostalgia, and it's not nostalgia in a negative way. It's nostalgia in the fact that Bill and Ted, the first two films, have such a unique, amazing, magical charm to them that you never would have thought it could be replicated in any fashion. Well, I'm here to say to you, as someone who is very, I don't want to say picky, but as someone who has a very different perception when it comes to cinema, and as someone who has a very deep fascination for the films, for the cinema that came before, the old school, the traditional view of cinema, it's always important for me to feel as if that I am able to experience that same emotion that I felt when I watched the predecessors. Needless to say, Bill and Ted Face the Music, absolutely wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. A true, amazing experience that manages to incorporate a perfect blend of humor, what made Bill and Ted, the first two films, so special in the first place, and along with that, this great music, and seeing Keanu Reeves and Alex Winter portray the likable doofuses again, just pure iconic nostalgia, seeing the phone booth all over again, and of course, with it being set in a modern era, all the different forms of popular culture, the technology, and then of course with them traveling through different time periods in order to interact with their future, past, and your older selves, was how they were able to do that was just absolutely phenomenal. And the humor was just top notch as well. Kudos to the casting director who casted the actresses who plays their daughters. I loved how they were able to get the actresses who looked exactly like Bill and Ted, who actually had children with the Princess Babes. Full on perfect casting. I loved and they did such an amazing job too, how they acted like Bill and Ted, and how they looked exactly like them. It's just bar none perfection. It's still, you feel that sense of sad emotions when you don't see, George Carlin isn't around anymore, but to see there is a heartfelt tribute to him in the beginning of the film, and it was just so I admit I got misty eyed watching it, and it was just such a brilliant film. It was just a breath of fresh air. It's something that manages to entice those who grew up watching Bill and Ted like myself, but also find a way to introduce them to a new audience that will find appreciation for them as well. Seeing death all over again from Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, amazing as well. He does it. It was just amazing all across the board. I love this film, and I would definitely watch it again. And I do recommend it. And again, towards the end, when they actually start playing this song that's supposed to unite the world, that I admit I started choking up a bit, because it's such a beautiful moment within the film that you never would have thought something like this would be incorporated into such a story that is featuring two likable doofuses in the first place, and they are so committed to uniting the world that this was a film that I believe was fully, desperately needed during this difficult and uncertain times that we are all experiencing at the moment. The fact that it wasn't released in theaters, well, it released in theaters now, but the fact that it wasn't released during the most harshest and most uncertain part of the period is just something that just blows my mind to this very day. This would have been the film that everybody needed to watch, because it provides that true sense of escapism and harmony that I do believe would have brought so many people together, and it's just such a feel-good movie. A great feel-good movie that's entertaining from beginning to end. There is never a moment where you're bored. You don't feel as if it's dated. It's just perfect. Absolutely perfect. And I do recommend it. Again, you can even bring your kids to watch it. I mean, it's important. I do believe it is important to watch the first two films just so you can have a deeper understanding of what came before and the different references that are being thrown in. However, overall, a true cinematic experience that I loved it. It did feel good to just be back in the theater once again, and I'm sincerely hoping that people will stop being afraid and they'll actually go to a theater and just escape for the next hour and a half or 2 hours, however long a movie is. And this is the movie that you definitely need to watch. I highly recommend it. 5 out of 5 experience, 2 thumbs up. Did an absolutely amazing job. It is just phenomenal. Perfect way to end the trilogy. Conclusive story. There is no need to go any further other than what they did with this one. Just absolutely perfect. The Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey. Then you have Bill and Ted Face the Music. The third film that was not the weakest of the trilogy. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. I recommend it. Once again, 5 out of 5, 2 thumbs up. I hope you guys do watch it. Anyone who hasn't watched it, feel free to do so. I mean, seriously, you will not be disappointed. And those who have watched it, feel free to provide a like and a comment on my Facebook and my YouTube page, and let me know what you thought about it. You'll be hearing from me again, my friends, and I hope you guys continue to be safe and healthy. And peace out. And always remember, in the words of Bill and Ted, be excellent to each other. And I know it's lame, but hey, peace out.